Welcome back to Road to Fire. We're a family of three documenting our journey to fire, financial independence, retire early. Let's chat about the average income by age for full-time working adults within America. I will outline our income growth over the last 8 years and 3 steps we took to grow our income with all real numbers like always, so please hang with me. Now, do you think $100,000 is a good salary? Let me know in the comments below, but I hear this debate all the time and I see it on many financial channels. It baffles me that this is even a debate. Let me explain. The median household income in the United States based off of the US consensus is about $68,000, which is higher than I expected. But that basically means in a typical family of 4, $68,000 pre-tax dollars is coming into the home. Now, let's step out of our United States or our North America view for a second and get global. As of 2020, over 1 billion people lived on $1 a day, or $365 a year. And if we stretch that even farther, about half the population lives on about $6 a day. So when we talk about $100,000 a year, yes, to me, that's still a great salary. I get living in certain parts of the country, it might not stretch as far, but when you put things into perspective, $100,000 is still putting you in about the 90th percentile of all salary earners in the United States. But although having a good salary is great, what most people forget about is the spread. Let me dive into it. So let's simplify FIRE into a basic equation. To reach FIRE, you take your income minus your expenses, and you hopefully have a positive spread, or money that is left over. Your spread is then used to do 4 main things to help you accelerate FIRE or get ahead financially. You either invest, save, pay off debt faster, or build as an entrepreneurship. But so many times in the FIRE community, we focus on the expense side of the equation a bit too much in my opinion. Now, I've saved $15 on my phone bill, I saved $35 on my grocery bill, or so forth. Now, that's all great, but at some point you'll hit a bottom on your expenses because we all need the basics as in shelter, food, water, and in most cases, transportation of some means to live. But what my husband and I have really focused on in the last 3 years is increasing our income to get our spread even higher to maximize on investing, saving, debt payoff, and creating new streams of income. But before I jump into the numbers, let me state the obvious while highlighting my privilege because there are many factors that impact income. Your age, religion, gender, zip code, as in where you live, experience, class, affinity, health is a big factor, education, and even fickle things like height. Yes, height impacts your income. In a Forbes article that came out last year, the data found that the taller you were, the higher your salary tended to be. To be clear, they estimated that each additional centimeter of height is associated with a 1.3% increase in annual income. In other words, a person who is 5'6", making $50,000 per year would expect to make about $2,000 more if they were 5'7", and $4,000 more if they were 5'8". Isn't that crazy? For context, I'm 5'9", so I guess I'm kind of benefiting from this overall. Now, these endless lists of factors should be highlighted because although hard work or smart work helps you reach FI, there are unconscious factors always pushing you ahead or behind that you may not know of. And I've personally taken advantage of and have been disadvantaged by many of these as well. So the median salary in the US is $51,480, with men making slightly more than women in the States as expected. Seems high, right? But this data comes from the Bureau of Labor Statistics or the Department of Labor in Q3 of 2020. It looks at 113 million full-time working salary employees in America. So no, it does not include the entire US population of all able-bodied working people, but it gives a clear picture on those who are working full-time within the states. But who is left out? Homemakers, part-time workers, gig workers who don't reach the 40-hour mark, small-time entrepreneurs clocking in less hours, and so forth. But 113 million adults is about 1/3 of American population, so that is a pretty decent sample size. In 2011, a few months after I graduated from undergrad, my starting salary was $52,000. This definitely shows that specific factors played a huge role in how we were able to grow our income over the years. I might have shared this before, but I do come from a lot of privilege. I'm healthy, and so is my family. Both my parents and in-laws are self-made millionaires. All of my siblings have at least an undergrad degree. I'm a member of the dominant religion here in the States. I'm tall, as I said, and I was a former college athlete. I lived in the right zip codes nearly all of my life, and I went to a private undergrad college for free. And despite being a woman of color, which was actually an advantage in the Midwest, hashtag scarcity and D&I initiatives, I didn't get to where I am today without a few invisible quote-unquote handouts. So let's look at the data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics by age. I'm only going to show the median numbers as that tells the best story. The data starts at 16 years old, but I'm actually a little surprised as I got my first official W-2 at 14 decades ago. Maybe things have changed, but sidebar, what was your first job? I used to be a cashier at Wendy's back when we had to say, do you want to biggie size it all the time? But comment below on your first official W-2 job. Anyways, my husband is 33 and I'm 32, so our range sits here. Median pay for our age group is $918, which equates to an annual salary of just under $48,000 a year. And as expected, your income gets higher as you get older, with your core earning years coming from the mid-40s to early 50s. But one thing that did surprise me was the salary for those over 65 years old. It is much higher than I expected at this age, as I hope to not be working at all in my 60s. So how do my viewers' incomes stack up? Over 32% make over $100,000 a year, and that is honestly expected because 1, this is a financial channel and only financial nerds are here, and 2, the age range. Most of my viewers are in their core working years or late 20s to early 40s, which are millennials and Gen Xers, so I'm definitely not surprised with the data overall. So how does our income stack up? Here is our income trend graph over the years. I have never looked at our income like this before and honestly not sure what to make of it. For context, I graduated college 2 years early in 2010, but it took me about 6 months to find my first quote-unquote real job. First job out of college was a valet manager, and I still talk to my manager to this day for giving me a shot when no one else did. Anyways, I got my first big girl job in January 2011, so that is where the $52,000 salary started. My husband did a dual major in engineering, so graduated in 5 years in 2012. So 2013 is the year after we got married and was our first official joint tax return. In the beginning, our joint income stayed relatively flat until I got my master's in 2016, and that's when things started to move up a bit faster. In 2018, we hit about $194,000 gross income. In 2019, I spoke on this. My husband quit his dream job at the space giant down in Florida to move back up north with us. So you can't imagine there isn't a lot of big need for aerospace engineers in the Midwest. So job search was very hard for us that year. 2020 was our unicorn year where we brought in almost $300,000. We probably brought in more as our side hustle income may not have been included. But if you split our income in half, because I'm a Genesis 223 woman, then we each made about $150,000, $147,000 apiece. Now, based on our age, we are definitely rocketing, and I'm happy with how we've landed, but why does it always feel that we don't have enough money every single month? Now, overall, income growth is a key priority for us. If you've been following my channel for even a few months, then you know I always talk about finding new ways to increase our income. Now, looking for new side hustles or trying to start a new business or new passive income ideas has always been a main focus for us. It might seem like we are all over the place, but we have a strategic goal underneath it all. And I feel we have really gotten to a good place with our expenses. Yes, I can probably cook more at home, and maybe I shouldn't be going to Alaska this month, but other than that, we are really set on that end of the equation. So for the last few years, at least since 2018, we've really focused on making these 3 changes to help us increase our income and get a better spread to help us accelerate our path to FIRE. Number 1 is we moved. We moved from a relatively high cost of living city to a much lower cost of living city in the Midwest. Now, if you live on a coast or in a true high cost of living city, please bear with me. But this move helped us both financially and mentally. Key benefits, we now have lower taxes. For example, in our old county, the tax rate or the property taxes were 2.9% in our county, and now it's 1.2%. We now have lower childcare expenses, and that saves us over $500 a month. We live closer to family, which has endless benefits, and I have a stronger work network here to help me build my career over time. I wish we made this move sooner. Number 2 is we job hopped. Now, I cannot stress this enough. If your job is not paying you what you believe you're worth, then leave. Now, I always get the "you millennials are not loyal" comment, and I don't want to be the one to say this, but companies aren't loyal to their employees. Just last month, my Fortune 150 company closed 2 plants, leaving almost 450 people without a job. And get this, the average tenure at the plants were over 25 years. In general, a for-profit company's number 1 goal is to increase their shareholders' wealth or profit. It's not to make sure you as an employee is situated and earning a good wage, but I digress. But key benefits were faster salary growth over inflation, no more 3% raises year over year, but 15% growth each time we change jobs, sign-on bonuses that included equity, and more depth and broader experience. Now, my resume attracts recruiters because I have a broad array of experiences. I have ability to show that I'm agile and nimble and versatile based on the companies I've worked at. In fact, my last 3 jobs I didn't apply for, but a recruiter found me via LinkedIn. So I'm here to debunk the myth that job hopping is bad. But one caveat, just make sure you read the terms of your offer, sign-on bonus, and your vesting period for your 401k or other benefits. And the last thing we did to help increase our income was we got creative. Case in point, here I am on YouTube sharing all of my numbers, and if you asked me 2 years ago if I ever would have started a YouTube channel, the answer would have been no. But I found a niche and it's been working well. YouTube has been averaging this year alone over $700 a month for me, and that is more than I could have ever expected, so thank you all. Other key benefits. We created new streams of income, found a better sense of income security, and increased our passive income streams. These 3 steps helped us increase our income in a short amount of time. Now we are on track to make about $300,000 again this year. Didn't have an income goal, but I hope we're able to hit this one. Our bonuses is what will probably push us over, but we'll have to wait and see based on our company's earnings. My husband just notified me that he's getting more RSUs, so I'm excited for that as well. They are positioning their company to sell, so that might help us out in our overall FIRE goal, as he's going to be able to cash out on some of those stocks. Even if we don't hit this goal, I'm happy because our spread has gotten so much better because of our expenses being lowered during this move. Now, when we do buy our next property, things will definitely change. And just as a quick update, our offer was not accepted. But we are seeing a gem later today that is even better, so keep sending your good vibes. I know something will work out for us soon. Now, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe below. Until next time.